We Love Metal welcomes Mike Gilbert of Thrash veterans Flotsam Jetsam today. The band has a new self-titled album out, and in my opinion, it's fantastic. And you can check out the Shepherd's review earlier this week, and he thought the same. So, Mike, thanks so much for taking the time to talk with We Love Metal today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me on the show.
All right. First off, I've been a fan of the band basically since the beginning, 30 years ago with Doomsday. Did you guys, and I don't think you were quite with the band then, but joined shortly thereafter. Did you guys have any idea or hopes that you'd be doing it for this long?
Well, actually, I stepped in just before the Doomsday record. So me and Newstead did a lot of the collaborations. You know, he did a lot of the lyric. He did all the lyric writing, as a matter of fact, for that record. And I came in and I brought the song "I Live You Die" to the band, which was our first demo that we did submitted to Metal Blade, and it got us on Speed Metal Hell. And that was really we had no expectations on anything. It just kind of started to blossom after that. We started doing more shows. Next thing you know, we started with these shows. We were supporting our bands that were coming through town, like Megadeth and King Diamond and stuff like that. And next thing you know, Megadeth picked us up for one of their tours in the United States, and it's just been kind of history since then, And then we all know what happened to Newstead.
Yep.
So.
Well, it seems like it's worked out pretty well for you guys. So, and that track that you mentioned, I think, still tends to be a fan favorite across the board. So, good stuff.
There's like two songs that whenever we play live, there's two songs that we absolutely have to do. There's no avoiding it, and that's "No Place for Disgrace," the title track from our second record, and then "I Live You Die," which never made it on our first record. It ended up coming out on our second record, but that's the people go nuts on that one. It's always great to watch the audience participation, and it's pretty fun.
Yeah, well, it still feels fresh after 20, close to 30 years. So, Flotsam Jetsam has had some highs for sure. Not to make a pun on one of your record titles, but, highs and lows over the years. Do you think there's some event or series of events that kind of defined how Flotsam made it through, or we persevered through that, and we're going to continue doing what we love to do?
Well, it is kind of like a disease, I think. If you got metal, you definitely got the disease, and we all definitely have to play. There's something about it. The one person that's endured through the whole thing, that's always remained, has been AK. He's been he's the singer. He's the what people recognize in the band. He's got such a unique set of vocal cords and a unique style. He's not like anybody else. But he's the one guy that's always remained and kept the thing going. There's been some guitar changes, some lineup changes here and there, and but for the most part, everybody that comes into the band has always had like a big piece of their heart has been involved into it. It's not about money or anything like that. It's about just for the love of playing, and I don't know, something about every member that's ever been in this band. They've just loved to play. So that, and that kind of just determines your success too. Because you see a lot of bands. Oh, I want to be rich and I want to be famous, and if that's what they're gauging their success on, some of them are never going to get successful. But if you gauge it on just how happy you are and content you are doing what you love doing, no matter what, then that's a rating of success too.
Sure. Yeah, as long as you're giving it your all and enjoying what you do, I think that's kind of key for how to define success. Several $1 million would be nice, but very few bands get to experience that. You did mention the personnel turnover, and I think Flotsam's seen a lot of kind of churn over the last maybe decade or so. But and this coming from an outsider's view, it really felt like the songwriting was improved on the self-titled album compared to Ugly Music and Cold, which I enjoyed. Honestly, I didn't really get into Ugly Music that much, but with the new album, I felt like there's some refresh going on with Flotsam and Jetsam. Is that kind of how you guys saw it?
Yeah,
or is that how it developed?
That is, it developed definitely. Once we got the new members, Steve Conley joined the band. I don't know, it's been 3 years now. Spencer joined the band. I don't know. I couldn't even tell you the dates because, they just come in the band, we start playing. It's not like I have no recollection of dates anyway, so I'm awful at that. But they came into the band, and once they started writing and bringing stuff to the table, it's really seemed like more of a 5-person effort as opposed to like 2 or 3 people. And for me, this feels like it's finally blossomed to what it's supposed to be. It's became what it's supposed to be. And I think everybody else feels like that too with the songwriting and how well we all click together. And we're all really proud of these songs on the new record. And it just it seemed like the right thing for us to do is to self-title it. It's like we've never done that before. So
well, that's funny. That was actually my next question. Why a self-titled album after 30 years? A lot of bands do it early on. So
yeah, we've always had some sort of a theme with all of our records, and this one, the theme is actually us, I guess. We're trying to get back to where we came from when we first started playing, and even though we have new members that weren't with us then, they've experienced the same sort of stuff being in other bands and stuff like that, and we all have the same roots. So, we all have the same goal when we were writing music, of course is what we love to do, but we also want to go back a little bit and get back to where we came from.
Okay. Yeah, not to rehash the past, but it feels like a return to I don't know. I think Quattro gets a lot of undeserved flack, but I love that album, and this one kind of goes back to there for me, to the Quattro era, maybe an album before or after. But yeah, I'm definitely digging it.
No, right on.
You guys have done a lot of songs that, maybe not a lot, a handful of songs that on the albums are only identified by an acronym or the initials. And on this one, it's LOTD. So what does LOTD mean? Some of them I can figure out, okay, I know what that means, but this one I'm still a little lost.
I don't know what AK's deal is. When he writes these tunes, like, there's always abbreviations on the record. It's like, dude, what are you doing? Okay, maybe it's his thing. Maybe he's been wanting to do it a lot.
I picked it up that it's something that happens all the time with Flotsam Jetsam stuff.
Yeah, maybe our next record will just abbreviate the title of it. So there you go.
Well, if you did this one F and J, it would have been obvious.
Well, that song was actually written around the time No Place for Disgrace came out. So around 1988, when Michael Spencer came into the band after Newstead stepped out, he had brought that song in, and we demoed it up way back then. And it seemed appropriate for what we were writing. He brought it back to the table this time and said, "Let's try this. Let's not really change anything on it, but let's kind of update it a little bit and see what we come up with." There was that song, and then another one called "Forbidden Territories," and those are both from 1988. So
okay,
yeah.
And Forbidden is the closer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that and. We writers over at We Love Metal, I think we kind of came to a consensus that might be the strongest song you guys have done in a long, long time. So it's funny, though, that, hey, it was written 25 years ago. So,
well, we kind of have a habit of whenever we write, we write too many songs, but it's a good thing because you get to go through and pick which ones you want and say,
Sure.
this is better. You pick your strongest ones. And we all feel we picked a lot of strong songs for this record. A lot of bands these days are putting together music, and it sounds great and everything on tape or whatever, on CD, whenever you listen back to it. But when they go to play it live, it doesn't always work, And so that's another thing that we did is we made sure that we played the stuff, went through rehearsals, and picked it apart like we did in the old days. We picked all the songs apart. We revamped them, with the exception of Forbidden Territories and Legion of the Damned. There was your answer right there for that one. And just really tried to tune them up by all getting together and rehearsing. And I really think that comes across during the recording process of that natural aspect of it, instead of just, hey, let's just put these parts down and record it. Everybody's in different states, but we can do this through Pro Tools and send each other files back and forth. Yeah, we still do that, but we also get together and make sure that there's that live appeal. Like, it when you're playing with these guys, whether that song is going to be an okay song to play live, or this song has got a lot of energy. Let's do this one. And so I call those the ones that don't have energy. I call them hot dog songs. And anybody who knows me, they always hear me complaining about hot dog songs. And the reason why I call them that is because that's what people do when they're watching you. They go get a hot dog during that song. They don't even want to see that crap. So we try not to have any hot dog songs on the record.
That's a great descriptor. I'm going to have to remember that one. Okay. Well, hey, speaking of playing live, what kind of I looked through your website and didn't really see anything. What kind of touring plans you guys have coming up?
We are supposed to announce something for June, probably within the next week or so. There's supposed to be an announcement, and also we'll be heading back to Europe again extensively at the end of the year. So,
okay,
I'm not exactly sure of our dates yet, but I can't tell you who we're going out with yet. But maybe by the time you air this, you guys will already know, and then you can throw it in there or whatever. But yeah, we plan on hitting the road and doing a lot of U.S. dates. We've missed out on a lot of U.S. touring in the last couple of years, and we've got to get back out there and start playing some U.S. dates. I think the last time we were out in the United States was Testament and Overkill, and that was 2.5 years ago, almost 3 years ago.
Yeah. That sounds like a horrible tour. Flotsam, Overkill, and Testament. I don't know.
It was awful. It was awful. I never wanted to leave it.
I bet. Also, speaking of playing live, just some kind of personal questions for you. What do you like to do when you're out on the road, aside from actually playing? Do you like to, go out and see the sights, check out a local dive restaurant, anything like that?
All the above. We try to do everything that we can. For me, I don't like to sleep in. Like, I'll get up and I'll take a train or a bus someplace to go see. If I know we're playing a city that's got something cool in it, because you're only working for a couple hours, during the evening, but during the day, you got your days totally free. So, we usually go try to find some place where we can catch a beer and go have some fun, before we go have even more fun at night and go play. But there's not enough hours in the day for me to do all the things that I want to do when I'm on the road, because every city's got something different to offer, and there's fun stuff to do and lots of stuff to see, and there's lots of people to hang out with too. So
yeah, definitely. Never enough time. So
no,
do it while
definitely
you can. Do you have a most memorable live music experience that you could share with us?
Oh man, one of the ones that really stands out was the very first time that we played Phoenix as like the hometown band in front of 18,000 plus people, and that was we were doing a tour with Megadeth and Korn at the time, and I remember just looking out going, wow, and I puked all over myself. I puked all down the front of me, on my guitar and everything else. And within the next few seconds, I had to be out there playing. So, but all the sickness went away as soon as I jumped out there, and it's just one of the best feelings, just super proud to be from Arizona and super proud to do what I'm doing, and then show my peeps, my family, and everything, all my friends that, hey, this is fun. I smell like puke.
Yeah. Get over it. All right. With respect to the current album, is there any song on that you're looking forward to playing live? I know, you mentioned you get together and go through it live, but is there one that just really, you guys said, you know what, this is it. This is going to be the opener, or, the crowd is just going to go nuts with this track?
I personally like Verge of Tragedy because I think it's got like a hoppy feeling to it. I don't know if we're gonna get to play that one. We're gonna do Iron Maiden, a single one off the first single, and then probably Time to Go, I think, is the other one that we're gonna do.
Okay.
And then I'm not sure after that. We're going through and trying to fit all the old ones in with the new ones and trying to incorporate them all and figure out what's going to be the best. But I personally love Verge of Tragedy because I think AK just brings it at the end of that. And for me, structure-wise, as I'm all about song structure and stuff like that, and at the end of the song, it just cuts you off and leaves you hanging, and I think that's part of the live experience when the fans get cut off. They want more, They don't leave. They don't go get that hot dog right after that.
that sense of tension is extended maybe a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right, good stuff. You've mentioned some of the things you like to do when you're traveling. How about when you're at home? What kind of hobbies, interests? Do you go skydiving? You like to cook? You have dogs? What is it about Mike Gilbert that might interest the fans of us out here?
I am the same way at home. If you catch me relaxing at home, I mean that's because I'm worn out and I don't have enough energy to do anything else. But I'm always doing something. I'm either always enrolled in some sort of a class. Right now, I'm doing the martial arts thing. I'm trying to learn some of that. I'm trying to learn more about my recording skills and engineering skills. I'm going to school for that. Programming, I'm all into all kinds of computer programming and Photoshop stuff, photography. Oh, heavily into the photography thing.
Okay.
So yeah, if you see me, I'm geeking out with a camera around my neck, because I like to capture all those moments where we're doing stuff. You never know when you're gonna get to go back there. So I always like to capture a picture.
All right.
I know I'm a geek. I'm a nerd, huh?
Yep. Hey, we all are. Actually, my wife and I, and my wife's way better at it than I am, but I do the concert photography, and she does the real photography. And, yeah, it's really neat to be able to capture those places that you've been and put your own spin on it through, it's digital manipulation, but you can put your own stamp on it in a way. So, yeah, good stuff.
So I'm impressed with that, though, because you do the concert photography. I've tried that a couple of times, and I'm awful at it. I can't get my lighting right. I can't get nothing right on it. It just never...
You have to take about 1,000 pictures to get a dozen. So, yeah, and it's all about cranking your ISO up and having a camera that can handle that. So, and, of course, the venue matters, too. So when you guys... I'm in the Chicago area. When you come through Chicago, I need you to go to a place that they know how to do the lighting right and not one of these dark places that you can barely see the band. So.
Oh, nice. Well, you know what's kind of cool about that is, speaking of venues and photographers and stuff like that, there's a venue here in town that every time I go see a metal band, even the heavy bands, I go and Randy Johnson's always there taking pictures of them. I don't know if you remember Randy Johnson from the Diamondbacks, the famous pitcher.
Oh yeah.
But he's totally into that. I see that dude every time I go. It's just, and he's got a great vantage point, because he's like 13 feet tall.
Yeah, he's way over everybody. All right, cool. All right, Mike. Final question for me.
All right.
Our site is called We Love Metal. Why do you love metal?
Ooh, I could go on and on about this, but I'll make it short. And I love metal because of the emotion I can get from it. It takes me different places, and this is just me. I can hear a song and I can be happy. I can hear a song. It can trigger a sad emotion, an aggressive emotion. It can make me want to punch someone in the face. It can make me want to relax a little bit, and that's just what metal does for me. So that's why I love it. I can just really appreciate it.
Excellent. That fits the way a lot of people I talk to, what they say about it as well. So thanks for taking the time to talk with We Love Metal today. Once again, to the fans out there, be sure to check out the new self-titled album from Flotsam and Jetsam, and look for them on the road coming up, I guess, this summer.
Awesome, you guys. Thanks for having me today.
All right, cool. Thanks, Mike.